Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Ulai Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. It's Saturday. I got to be silly. Sorry, guys. I know this is coming out on Sunday, but I am recording on Saturday, so I'm a little silly. But welcome. We have the Princess of Swords energy. I'm excited. This is one that is like a strong intellect and a real sense of social responsibility, I guess. That's the vibe I get a lot from, like, somewhat the prince, but more the princess. This is somebody who cares about her chosen communities. She cares about her family. She cares about the right thing, justice, doing well, furthering whatever the belief is, the cause, the belief, the institution, the lack thereof, the, anti-whatever institute, whatever way this goes, whatever way this flows, this is a person who has a belovedness, who has a true emotional, moral, ethical, deep bond with whatever their perception of their belief, their reality is. Okay. So this is somebody who, really has some strong convictions. Absolutely. I always think of this person, especially around any kind of holidays. This is like your nephew, your niece that's going to argue with you about why you're ruining the world or why your generation destroyed everything, or you know what I mean? And every younger generation blames the last one. I'm no different. I'm an older millennial, almost a Gen X. Now, I don't blame Gen X because we're, basically I'm a baby Gen X. I hung out and grew up around all Gen X people mostly. And yeah, we blame the boomers. Sorry if you are born in that generation. I'm not saying it in a negative way, but yeah, don't we all blame you guys? I do sometimes too, right? But we all do this. So this is kind of that energy. Okay, when we have that, not the blamey energy, but just that I feel very passionate about this and I'm going to let every single person I talk to know about it. Even if it is at Sunday brunch, So anyways, let's get started. I love that energy. That means we really care about something, or somebody in our life is really caring about something, which, listen, in this day and age, I'm just glad to meet people that are doing something. They're involved, intellectually, spiritually, emotionally in something, anything, not letting that part of themselves atrophy. Okay, now let's lift this up carefully. All right. And so, Pisces, I again want to say thank you for deciding to click on this reading. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for sharing your most sacred time with me. And I do. Time is one of the most sacred things in life, right? It is something we cannot take back. It is something that we share with people. Sometimes we need to be more discerning about that. Sometimes, not at all. But yeah, I'm happy to be here with you. All right, let's take a look. Now, also, let me just say, my husband, you might know him over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. His name is Paul. We have a couple, I keep saying couple. We have a few new channels out. I just want to say them really quick. I will make a post to link all of them. We are doing a channel together called Dove and Serpent Adventures. This will be more behind the scenes stuff. You'll see a little bit more of he and I together, maybe for the first time. I don't know. Some of you maybe haven't been around very long. We don't do a lot of stuff together on camera, but of course this is our business, so we work together. I work on his channel, he works on mine, whatever. So we're doing this channel together, Dove and Serpent Adventures. Okay, he also has Dove and Serpent Daily, and Tarot Logic is another one. And what is the last one? I forget. Oh, Dove and Serpent Radio. So we're going to go ahead and link all of those on a post so you have like a hub where you can go and check them out. If you haven't seen my husband's readings, go check out Dove and Serpent Tarot. They are amazing. Don't forget to come back, though. Don't forget about me. I might not be as eloquent and articulate and knowing as he is, but I promise you I bring a little something different to the table. And what else? If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment on this reading, I would love to hear from you. It also helps the channel get in the algorithm, and we want to grow the channels and all of that, of course. All right, let's take a look. Now, we have a person here holding a bird, right? And this person has this kind of, you can see the roundness of the body, the head up here. We have, it looks like a bird. Here's the head. The tail would be over here. Now, also in a walking kind of movement, smiling, laughing, talking. We have, it looks almost like buttons. Okay, so I'm imagining this is like an older person, somebody that, when you're young and everybody seems so tall, so big, and even like your house that you grew up in, probably, if you remember back to when you were little, it seemed like a huge, huge kingdom. Everything was so large and big, and, all of the rooms seemed so expansive. And then as you get older, or, you're an adult, you return to that home, you think, oh my gosh, this is way smaller than I remember, or, you look at your dad for the first time as an adult. You've been away for, a couple weeks. You see him again and you think, oh, wow, he's a lot shorter than I remember, a lot smaller, not as big, and, like this iconic hero of my childhood memories. And so I feel like this is kind of the size of the formation here makes me think this is like through your eyes as a child. And you had somebody in your life who had a bird, at least one. Maybe they were somebody who raised birds, somebody who had maybe like a parrot or a cockatoo or something like this. This was their companion. This was their life. Right? You wanted, Grandpa to go on vacation, but he couldn't because he had to stay home with the bird, right? The bird can't be alone. The bird needs its person. So I feel like this is like a key identifier of who this person is. This is something that immediately you're like, oh yes, I know who you're talking about. Okay. So why are they coming up though? I feel like there seems to be some kind of information coming to light. We have candles here. We also have a heart right here. And up here, it looks like we have a broken arrow. So maybe an unrequited love or unrealized love. I'm almost wondering if this has to do with maybe some genealogy, or kind of like you've met somebody that was like a friend of the family, or like the friend of the family's kid, or, I don't know, somebody that worked with your family member, and it's funny when you meet somebody that like worked for like 15 years with your grandmother, because they know a whole different person than you do, right? They've seen grandma at work. They've seen grandma stressed out. They've seen grandma tired and not wanting to be there. And, grandma and her pride and her glory and her, many congratulations and so on and so forth. So when we meet people outside of the context of how we might know them or they might know us, randomly bump into grandma's, longtime friend at the grocery store, we might hear some stories, right? We might have this like deeper understanding of who the people in our life might have been. So I feel like this person is probably transitioned. I think this is maybe like I said, a grandfather, an uncle, maybe even father or family friend or somebody that was very important to you. It still is, right? Even though they have transitioned. And I think that it's been some time. It doesn't feel like a new thing, like you're in fresh grief. But I do feel that there's something that comes up here that seems to really bring up some old feelings. Now, I don't think they're bad ones. I think this is more of like a suddenly you have this real emotional kind of rising in you. I can share with you what this reminds me of, and this actually just happened to me not that long ago. So I have shared before that my parents passed away when I was a kid. I was 11, and then less than a year later, my mother passed first. Then less than a year later, my father passed. And I grew up with them. I was 11 and 12 when they passed. So I had been with them for 11 or 12 years. So we were obviously very connected and bonded. And, my life wasn't easy. I had a very, very difficult, traumatic childhood. But of course we were family. So here's the thing though. I don't have a lot of pictures. I have maybe a couple of items of my parents still, after all these years. And I have no videos of my parents at all. So anyways, I used, I'm not going to say the letters, but you know what I'm talking about. I used the thing that will take a picture and kind of animate it or move it around, make it look like they're moving. So I did this with a picture of my mother. And I didn't even tell my husband or show my husband or my daughter, because I can't even look at it without becoming like a sobbing, heaping mess, because it is that profoundly moving. All of a sudden, I've seen this picture a million times. It's a picture of my mom. But to see her smiling and moving and the look, I look like her. My daughter looks like her. It's just, anyways, I don't want to get all, I am going to cry. But I feel like this is the same kind of emotion, right? Suddenly you find something out, right? Maybe it was a secret. Maybe it was just something mundane. Like a story about them at college or, how they spent their summers when they were a teenager, somebody that like worked on a ranch with them or something. You know what I'm saying? Like just something that adds a deeper knowing, and that feeling of them being there with you, it makes them feel so much more alive in your space. And they are with you. And they are with you. And I know that you perceive that. But right now it's so potent. It feels like they're in the room. You can hear them laughing. You can hear their bird even. I feel like it's like, when you have a kid and for the first few years, even probably later than that, I don't know. But every time you hear a baby crying, it hits on that thing inside of you, that parent thing that you have that goes off like, somebody's crying, somebody's hurt. That sounded like a hurt cry. That sounded like a I'm scared cry. You know, you just know. It turns on that parent part of you. I feel you just absolutely. There is a belovedness here. There's a deeper wholeness. There is a sense of thanks too, because this feels like a miracle that you would have never even asked for or conceived of. And this is true, I think, anyways, in my experience of what I would consider miracles in life. You know, so often we ask for a certain miracle or a certain thing to happen. I need this. Please, God, this has to work out. I really need this to come through. I need this miracle. I need against all odds, right? Well, sometimes the most profound miracles in our life are things that we don't even know that we need, that we don't even know. Can't even conceive, like this is a thing that might add to my life. This is a thing that might open my eyes, that might, open my heart up, that might lead me in a new and valuable direction. But this is one of those moments, okay? This is one of those moments. Now, we also have, it looks like, a sense of having worked really hard recently on getting something done, like a project at work, or maybe you like put in a garden. Well, this was my spring, early summer. Putting in, we moved to our property last spring. And it was too late to really get the whole garden put in and going. So I didn't. I opted to kind of just watch the land, see how the cycle of the seasons go, and then find like the right place where I want my gardens and all of that. Okay, so this year I put the gardens in. And if you've ever put in gardens, new gardens, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And you have to want it or need it or both, right? And so I get this feeling of you putting so much effort into something over the last couple of months, 3-4 months, maybe even. I feel that it does have to do with the household. Maybe it's the work. Maybe you work from your home. It looks like a house, right? Okay, you can see. We also have the person standing with the scythe. So sometimes that would be death, right? We'd look at that and we'd say, okay, now that's the death archetype. I don't think so, because we also look like we have two people embracing each other. If you look at it again, the two heads. So to me, no, this is about coming together with your people, your person, your partner, your companion, your spouse, your child that, your adult child maybe that you live together. You are a partnership. You're trying to get through this life together. Listen, more and more people are opting to live with their families. Who can afford to be alone anymore? I don't know. Not in America anyways. So to me, this is about the union, a shared goal, and coming together, getting that thing done, and then reaping the benefits, enjoying the harvest, and just absolutely bonding on this deeper and deeper level. So I feel this really being a time where things are coming together. The vision is manifesting. The vision is being born, being realized. Now, I feel that this also, and I don't know that this is actually happening, but I feel like you worry about people in your life who you, and let me emphasize this, who you love, but you don't trust, who you love, but they don't offer much, but they take a lot. I feel like for you, this underlying anxiety starts to rise as you are doing well, as you are bonding more deeply with your family unit, your household is in order, things feel very prosperous for you. The anxiety of the hyenas showing up, the jackals, the hyenas, the vultures, these beasts just, vying, waiting, watching, waiting for any little scrap to fall. Anything that they can get into their beak or their claws, they can rip it away from you. And I feel like, for you, this is part of why you avoid doing anything that is going to kind of make you a target. And part of that is prospering, doing well, having more money, having more resources, having nicer things. I feel like you really think about like what kind of attention is this going to bring to me, to my family, what family members are going to come out of the woodwork, all of that kind of stuff. And I think that you've been burned before. You've been hurt by your family because of these kinds of, really selfish, conniving kinds of situations that you find yourself in, not your end of it, but theirs. Now, we have this apparition next to the house. Okay, here's the house again. You can see like it looks like a little smoke coming off the top or steam. Now we have this apparition, okay? We have people, it looks like scared. We have a person coming with a broom. So here's a weird take. Usually I would say, okay, it seems like you need to do some kind of cleansing, banishing from your house, clearing out. Never hurts to do that. Never hurts. Go ahead, clean out your house, get the windows open. This is my go-to method for clearing energy. First of all, it is clearing the air. Literally, right? I don't care if it's 1,000,000 degrees outside. I don't care if it's super cold, middle of winter, negative 40 degrees, which we do get that here where I'm at. And I will still open the windows. But clearing the air out, getting all of that stagnant energy out. Clear it. Put the fans on, but the windows need to be open. Open the doors if you can. Put the screen door on or whatever. Get the house cleared out, okay? But this one is weird because I don't think that you're clearing the house. I actually think that you are asking for protection or invoking something to protect the house, to keep the and in my mind, it feels like zombies, right? People demanding, throwing fits, starting fights with you on social media because you won't give them $100 or, whatever. I feel like you are seeking some kind of protection from all of this energy. Now, I can't tell you it's a foolproof thing. But absolutely, I am very superstitious obviously I do magic. I'm, a practitioner of sorts. So I have to be superstitious on some level, right? But yeah, talisman, clearing of the house talisman, bringing in protective symbols, if it is whatever it is. I mean, we all have different things. I like to put talisman over all of the doorways, all of the windows. I keep lots of statues of patron deities, saints, entities, whatever. Frogs are the keepers of my portals, the doorways, the garden, also toads. So I have a lot of symbolism of those around. But I feel that, there is a sense of really this working, The other part of this that I have to say is that if you have ever seen the image of the child Horus, Harpocrates or whatever, however you say it. I always called him Harpocrates. But I pronounce things incorrectly. Where he is standing with a finger over his mouth, the shh, silence. Part of how we protect ourselves psychically, spiritually from other people is by using stealth. Do you know what stealth is? I barely do. But it is a really hiding of self, going undetected, being so mixed into the the environment that nobody notices you're there. Now, for some people, this is difficult because it is just like a Leo going stealth. Come on. Let's be real. A Gemini wanting to go stealth most of the time. Let's be real. Okay? But there are a lot of positives to being able to lower your energetic output, right? Even just being unnoticed. Part of why I'm so excited about going into my cronehood is this promise that I constantly hear from older women who say, as you get older, nobody pays attention to you. Nobody cares what you think about stuff. Nobody is, going out of their way to be around you or see you or remember you. You kind of just fade into the background. And I say, HE double hockey sticks, yeah. I am here for it. Bring it on. I want it. I want it. I want it. Please. I don't want to be seen. I don't care anymore. I don't want to be bothered, right? So lowering our interactions, tempering ourselves, our reactions to people when they bait us, which they will. If you're not giving them your energy, your time, your attention, how are they going to try to get it? By making you upset, by making you mad, by doing things that are going to make you react. No, we go stealth mode. Honey, if you are going to go out of your way to waste your time to elicit some kind of emotion out of me, you have to be dreaming. I barely have time to take a shower, to get all of my chores done, to take care of my family, to take care of my business, to breathe. If you think, I'm going to give you a little ounce of my anything, no. We're going stealth. We're going unseen. We are going to travel in the blur of it all. In the shadows, in the moving trees, in, the car passing. Now you see me, now you don't. The car passes by, disappear, right? You walk across the street, by the time you get there, disappeared. We're going stealth. And you know what? That keeps the zombies away. That keeps the, ill-behaviored people from knocking at the door. Also, just not talking about how well you're doing. I know it's hard. We live in a world where, all of our little successes we want to share. I'm no different. Of course I do. Of course I do. Do you think that I don't want to gloat to all, especially, not even, I don't even care about, high school, where I came from, whatever. I love you guys out there. If any of you are listening, I love you all. But the people I want to dunk on, right, are the ones that I came up in the occult scene with. There's so many people that were so arrogant and gatekeeping and, and still are. I mean, gosh, still are, right? Well, look how well we're doing over here now. You didn't think I was going to do it, did ya? But I have to temper myself, right? I don't want that attention on me. Maybe just a little bit. But yeah, I know. We have to sometimes refrain from wanting to show off or, just get the accolades. Life is a lot of work. Doing well or doing better is a lot of work. We just got to be, mindful of where we seek our attention. Okay, so we have the number 141. We also have a key. We have a key. We have, it looks like two sisters fighting. Maybe you have siblings or somebody in your life, they're having troubles with their sisters. This seems like it's going to come to a head. We have the number 5. And I feel like there's a sense of detaching and flowers. I just want to go look at flowers. That's the feeling I have. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to fight with you. I'm tired of, trying to help and everybody's still fighting or, you're still, every time we mend this thing, you and I, my sister and I, all of a sudden we're fighting again. And it feels so cutting. That's the thing. It's and if you are a person who has a sister, which I do, you know that nobody in the world can cut as deeply as our sister can. Maybe a mother. Mother maybe is the deepest, but the sister, there's just something about that dynamic. So I think, anyways, my sister's much older than me. She's 16 years older, not much older. But she is older, right? So our dynamic's a little different. My sister is always very good to me. We fought, of course, but it's never been we're peers and we're competing and fighting. But I know that is the case for a lot of people who grow up with sisters who are, closely aged or, trying to find their place in the family, in the world, and they're doing that, parallel to each other. There can be, moments where there is just an annihilation of one another's spirit, just because they're your siblings and you fight. And, You know where to take it because you know what will hurt. So usually, hopefully anyways, we carry with us this great responsibility to be our keeper, be the keeper of our people, of our siblings, of our neighbors, of, the people who are in our lives. We don't go to those terrible places because we love them and we care about them. We don't want to dismantle each other. We don't want to destroy each other. Why would we? Why would we abuse people on our own team? Or why would we let them do that to us? That's the other side of it. So I feel like for you, there is a sense of detachment. I am going away from the situation. We will speak again when things have calmed down. And I see this being a moment of great self-evolution for you. This is a maturing, absolutely, okay? And I think this is something that you should be very proud of, okay? Because it's not easy, especially when it's like family members or people who we've known for a long time. It's hard to get out of those old dynamics, but you will. But you will. All right, let's do our 3 lucky numbers. 79, number 79, excuse me, number 35, and number 86. All right, now we're going to do our water blessings affirmation cards. I'm going to flip through, stop where it feels right. And it says, number 38, rebirth, enliven. You are destined to initiate divine celebrations for healing joy. For healing joy. Beautiful. All right, Pisces, I love you. I'm not going to make this one long. I'm just going to say, I love you. I love you. I love you. Take care of yourself, please. Also, if you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, do that. I would love to hear from you. Also, if you want to leave a prayer request, put that in the comment section or email it to me at ulaishere@gmail.com. Please be safe. Enjoy the rest of your cycle here. If it is summer, if it is winter, just make sure that you are taking care of yourself, drinking enough water, driving safely, watching out, making sure other people aren't acting wild. But yeah, anyways, I love you. We'll talk soon. Good night.